Yeah.
You want to like him, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. You straight gangsters over here,
Straight
man.
gangsters. Yeah. Good morning and welcome back. That's right. You are listening to Scout Team Radio. We bring it to you hot and live each and every morning, Monday through Friday. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
I guess that's true. And the man on the other microphone, he is a great patriot and a great American. You all know him as...
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is your boy, Chris America, coming to you this June the 5th, 2019. And Loudbeard, it is the hump day.
There you go, bringing it back. That's a classic right there. Never
Yeah.
gets old. Never.
Never. Especially if you're a
once.
school teacher, it never once got old. If you were a middle school teacher or an elementary school teacher, I don't know, do you think high schoolers got into that too?
I'm sure they did. I bet middle schoolers are where it like lasted forever.
Oh,
where
yeah.
high schoolers get over things quickly. They have like very
Yeah.
little attention spans. Middle schoolers, they hang on to things. I bet there's kids still doing the what's up. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Middle schoolers, they're lame like that. No offense
Definitely.
to all of you middle schoolers out there.
I mean, no, full offense. Stop being annoying.
Yeah, it's
Grow
true.
up, will you? Will you just
It's
grow
true.
up? You're almost
Ah.
there. You're almost back to having a middle schooler back in the household.
No,
Just
I do.
Two more months, right?
Well, they officially counted the last day of their previous year, so now I would say that my daughter believes she's a middle schooler. Though I
Yeah.
think it doesn't count until the first day of school, but
Mm-hmm.
at the last day of 5th grade, official, she's like, I'm a middle schooler. Counts. That's how
Yeah.
the kids count it that way.
You got to wait till they're around other middle schoolers. That's when they truly form into a middle schooler. So I agree with you with that first day thing.
Yeah, there's a ton of sass out there, though. Either way, it's not so good. Not so good either way.
Gotta love the
Middle
sass,
schooler, 5th grader, girl, boy. I mean, it's a tough world out there, and these kids got attitude. It's new age.
man. It's a Snoop Doggy Dog world out there.
Sorry, I just took a drink of
Yeah.
some water, and
That's okay.
couldn't respond to you and your Snoop Dogg ways. That's typically how that goes, though. So, Chris
Snoop
America, what's
Dogg.
going on, man? What is up in the world? Quiet sports today, right? Like, I get it if you're a big tennis fan, you might be all like, oh, yeah, French Open, it's awesome. And we could talk a little bit about that, but, man, I don't think you're a big tennis fan, are you?
I mean, I can talk tennis. I've talked
Okay,
tennis
go ahead.
before.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, tennis.
All right, that was Tennis Talk brought to you by Chris America. Well, since you brought it up, actually I brought it up, but you brought it up. Nadal and Federer both win their quarterfinals yesterday. We talked a little bit about it on the show, talking that tennis. Cool, right? Like, awesome. Today, Djokovic has his quarterfinal. He'll probably win that. That's what these guys do. They're winners. And, yeah, that's my summary there for tennis.
Stuff
And that
how he
was
wants,
Tennis Talk brought to you. What? Excuse me? Did you say something?
I thought I'd turned it down. Hold on.
Yeah,
that was lame. All right, go ahead with your tennis.
You
talk.
got something brewing over there. You
No,
know
I
what?
do. I do.
Do you need to set it up first?
It's set up, I think.
All right. Well,
Are you done with your
can-
tennis talk?
I was done before I even started. A matter of fact.
Well, you talked about how it was a quiet sports day yesterday, but one particular quarterback was not quiet. Are you familiar with a guy named Baker Mayfield?
I once heard of him. Yes. I think he played ball at the Oklahoma. Yeah, I think I've heard of him. What team's he on now?
He's on the Cleveland Browns.
All right. I've heard of the Bronies. They won in
Brownies.
basketball once,
Oh.
but they're called the
Got it.
Brownies when they play basketball.
Oh, they're called the Brownies?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Cleveland Brownies.
Got it. So, Loudbeard, have you heard of Duke Johnson?
I have. He's a phenomenal running back. Yes.
Isn't he a UCF alum? Or am I confusing him with somebody else?
I'm pretty sure you're confusing him with someone else. I don't believe Duke Johnson played at UCF. I think you're thinking of Storm Johnson.
Storm
who
Johnson, that's who it is.
fizzled away his career in the NFL.
We have
Played
guys that want
one
to be here.
season
They'll
with-
show that. They'll voice that.
Damn
Obviously.
it. Shut up, Baker. Not yet.
God,
Loudbeard's talking.
man, that was premature right there. Because America, you gotta get your producing street cred up, man.
But it's bad. So, yeah,
Okay.
Storm
as long as
Johnson
you admit
fizzled.
to it.
Storm Johnson fizzled out.
I lost train of thought. Why don't you just
Yeah.
go ahead and tell
So
me
Duke
what
Johnson,
Baker
I think he
has
went to
to
Miami.
say?
I think Duke Johnson went to Miami. So Duke Johnson wants to be traded. He's kind of feeling a little left out. Especially they brought in Kareem Hunt. Who else do they got over on that team? There's another
they've
running back.
got the Chubb we believe.
Oh yeah,
in.
the Nick Chubb. So he's feeling like, man, I'm never gonna get to see the field. I'm not gonna get the ball that much, especially when Kareem Hunt comes back. And I want to be on a team where I can contribute. And so he wants out. And so Baker Mayfield answered some questions about that. Why don't we finally take a listen?
We have guys that want to be here. They'll show that. They'll voice that. Obviously, he's going to handle his stuff how he wants. But you're either on this train or you're not. It's moving. You can get out the way or you can join us. So it is what it is.
And mic drop.
Yeah, I love what Baker Mayfield's doing. He's bringing definitely some street cred to this team. He's making them seem like they are a world champion type of team, and they haven't even won a playoff game since like early 2000. I don't know if it's still where it needs to be as far as we got to see something on the field, but he's saying we're together. We want to be in this. We want guys that want to be here. They want to win, and we want that type of mentality. For a guy like Duke Johnson, he's saying, fine, you do your business, but if you don't want to be in, we've got other guys that want to be here, and we're gonna move forward without you, man. And I love it. He's not putting up with this crap. He's not saying, okay, we want him, let's change his mind. No, he's saying, we want guys that want to be here. We need to change the mindset. We need to change what the culture of the Cleveland Browns, what it is. And it has been a losing culture, and they've acted like losers over the last 15 years. And Baker Mayfield is the guy that's changing that. He wants them to be known as winners, and he doesn't want guys that don't want to be there. He wants guys that want to win and want to win for him and want to be on this team. Man, I love it. I think the culture's switching, and I think Baker Mayfield is a huge part of that, if not the number one reason why this is turning into a winning culture.
I think that right there, mixed in with all the other sound bites he had with, with the old coach and everything that went on last year, he's taken ownership. Yeah, Huey Magoo. He's taken ownership of that team. And he's done it in such a fast time. And he's done it in a way that I think quarterbacks are supposed to do it. And I love it. I think that attitude right there makes him worth a number one overall pick. Because that's what you want from your number one overall pick. You look at other guys that have come into the league, and they're all kind of quiet, right? The only other rookie quarterback or young quarterback that you can tell has complete control of the team, and he's just like out there in front of the media and making sure that this is his team is Patrick Mahomes. Other than that, when was the last time you saw who was that guy that got traded? Josh Rosen. When did you see him ever take ownership of that Arizona Cardinal team? Or, oh, God, now I can't think of the guy from the Jets.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold, that's it. Man, my mind's running slow today, guys. I'm sorry. Sam Darnold. He hasn't done anything to show that he owns this team. And I think that's kind of why the Browns felt comfortable trading for OBJ, because they knew their young quarterback could handle that personality and that those two would mesh well together, because they both want to do one thing, win and win only. And they have that win at all cost mentality.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And, Mayfield is definitely an exception to the rule. I mean, think about it. If you're a young college guy, you go into an NFL program, and you've got all of these older veteran guys, that are much older than you are, that have been playing in the league, that are established, and you have to go out and be that vocal leader, and you have to go out and be the leader on the field, it can be intimidating. And it's going to be intimidating for 99% of guys out there. And there's two ways that you can counteract that. You can win on the field, or you can just stand up and be a leader and say the right things. And Baker Mayfield has really done both. And that is what has made him such an excellent pick for the Browns, because he's been a vocal leader. The fans love him. He's endeared himself to the fans. And what he put out on the field, it was a quality product. Yeah, did the Browns go undefeated as soon as Baker Mayfield stepped on the field? Absolutely not. Was that the expectation? No, that's unrealistic. What the expectation was is, let's get some momentum. And the Browns had more momentum going into the end of this season than any other team that I can think of in the NFL. And they were at the point where I remember fans were excited that they were in the playoff picture 2 games left in the season. So just to say that they weren't eliminated, the fans were excited. And Mayfield was part of that. He was the one standing up, being the guy that was in the spotlight, being the guy that was talking to the media, being the guy that was leading this team. And I can only say good things about Baker Mayfield. I know some of his antics can come off as being childish or immature, but he's the right person, and he is in the absolutely right place. And he is the future of the Cleveland Browns, not Duke Johnson. Sorry, Duke. Get off this train. It's going in the right direction. If you don't want to be a part of this, then, good riddance to you.
Yeah, for sure. And everything you said is correct. And there's a right way to go about doing it, and there's a wrong way. Because you remember when Jameis Winston first got to Tampa, and he kind of rubbed his teammates the wrong way by trying to take leadership too early. It's a really fine line that you have to walk in that locker room, where you can't just come into the locker room and just start barking out orders or anything like that. I think you just need to quietly come in, show the team like throughout the summer that you're just there to learn and ask guys questions and everything else. And then once you get on the field, that's when you need to take control of the locker room. Like, you're now the starting quarterback. And you don't just do it by barking orders. You do it by having your teammates' backs. You do it by standing up for your teammates in the media. And that's what he's done, both with Hugh and now with Duke Johnson. Like, he's basically said to 2 guys that either didn't want to be there, or I kind of didn't like the way that he treated Hugh, because Hugh got fired. And what is Hugh supposed to do? Like, just not take a job just because they're in the same division? But at the same time, it still showed the teammates, like, hey, I'm for the Cleveland Browns and my teammates, and if you're not with us, you're against us. And I think that's the best way to show true leadership, is that you're willing to put in the grunt work, and then you're willing to have your teammates' backs.
I couldn't agree with you more, Chris America. I think that is absolutely the right way to do it. And I wasn't expecting our show to go in this direction, but we've become a Baker Mayfield love fest over here, and it's fantastic. It's
I mean, what's not to love?
It's true.
And you know what else it really is?
What is that?
It's just we're starving for football.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Speaking of football, I'm going to segue that over to a baseball talk. You like where I did that? Yeah, you're starving for more baseball talk, aren't you, Chris America? Your hunger for it is amazing. But this is I guess this is more on the political side of baseball, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my frustration. Now, a guy like Rob Manfred, who I believe is not a very good commissioner, you may have a different opinion, Chris America. Our listeners may have a different opinion out there, but to me, Rob Manfred is. Rob Manfred is one of those typical commissioners that's just part of the machine. He's part of the current culture. He's part of everything that has been a part of baseball over the years. He's not a difference maker. He's not somebody that comes in with original ideas. He's not any of that. And he has recently come out and talked a little bit about this netting situation. And as we talked about on the show, there was that big accident where the foul ball went and hit a young girl. I believe she was 3 or 4 years old, in the face, and it's a pretty horrific injury when a small child, a young girl, is out at the game watching your product and gets a serious injury like that. That's not good for baseball. It's not good for what that should be. It should be America's pastime. It should be an entertainment venue that is safe for spectators. Now, Rob Manfred comes out and he says that, I don't see any of the ball clubs doing anything right now. They may start talking about this. I could see discussions coming up maybe in the off season. So I think we're okay for now. He actually specifically says it's very difficult given how far the clubs have gone with the netting to make changes during the year because they really are structural issues. I have a problem with this. Chris America, you still there with me? It sounded like you cut out, so I think I lost you there for a minute. So I'm going to keep going with this, but I have a problem with this. Number one, putting netting up in baseball stadiums, is that a structural issue? To me, a structural issue is reinforcing seating that may look like it's about to fall or having a roof that looks like it's about to collapse. A structural issue is not putting up netting in a stadium. I think that is a cop-out. I think that's a poor excuse for not doing what they need to be doing, and that is addressing the issue immediately. It's like they're afraid to make any changes. They're afraid to move on anything. It's the old traditionalist way of doing baseball, and that's what Rob Manfred is. He's part of the cog. He's part of the machine that has been baseball all of these years, that has seen attendance drop year over year over the last several years. It has seen very, very small changes, nothing major, nothing drastic, nothing different. It has all been the same Major League Baseball, and Manfred sees this safety concern, and it happens year in and year out. We see a fan get hurt seriously out in the stands every time it happens. And oh, look at you, you're back, huh?
Yeah, internet problems.
No, it happens, man. It happens. I'm just going on my rant. I see that we got a tweet in from Scott Kaiser. I'll let you read that here in just a second, but I'm going to finish my rant here just real quick since I got you back after some internet issues. But I think Rob Manfred, he doesn't want to address it, and he said, okay, but because it is a safety issue and it is so important, I'm sure the conversation will begin and continue in the offseason. Oh, yeah, is it so important that you can wait until the offseason to have a conversation? Like, dude, man up. Rob Manfred, stop being a total wiener and man up, and we're just tired of you. That's Loudbeard on his high horse today.
Yes, I agree, even though I heard nothing of what you said. Can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, I can hear you all right.
Okay, my internet's having problems. If it goes again, I might have to restart the router and everything. I hope that I don't have to do that. Maybe I can do that during the commercial break. So, Loudbeard, I didn't hear anything you talked about, but since you're on baseball, and I don't feel like having you repeat what the fans just heard.
No, we're not going to repeat it, but I would like to repeat.
I can't wait to listen to it. I can't wait to listen to it either today at 11.
Repeat a tweet that was out there. Did you see this tweet come in from Scott Kaiser?
I did not.
He brings up very valid points, and this is I like when somebody adds a good value to our show. He says, I'd argue he's worse than all those things you mentioned, Loudbeard. This was what we got from Bud. Manfred was supposed to be better, the baseball version of Adam Silver, and instead he's just another talking head, another disappointment, and this proves it, Scout Team Radio. Man, Scott Kaiser, you hit that right, the nail on the head. He is just another talking head. He hasn't done anything, and he is nowhere near Adam Silver. He is not in the same conversation. He's not in the same room. He's not in the same country. He's not in the same universe as Adam Silver. Adam Silver, to me, is one of the best, if not the best commissioner I've ever seen in a sports league, and Rob Manfred is just another guy.
Well, you know who's worse for baseball than Rob Manfred?
No, I don't. Who is worse for baseball than Rob Manfred?
The old heads of baseball media and the old heads of baseball fandom. I think we're kind of over the old heads in baseball, right? And I think they're going to kill baseball if they don't go away.
Yeah, I guess we could say that. I mean, there's still some tradition that goes with baseball, but the key is to take that tradition and embrace the tradition, but also come up with new and inventive ways to make the sport more exciting, and view it from a fan's point of view. You know, you can't just have this small percentage of old talking heads that are slowly dying out and not embrace the young, up-and-coming world, and that's what baseball hasn't done.
Well, nobody has better, or I guess worse, old heads than the Pittsburgh Pirates broadcasting crew. I'm going to play you a little clip. It's the Atlanta Braves versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. Braves batters up to bat. I can't tell who that is. Is that Cunha Jr.? Yeah. Alcuna, that's his name, right? Alcuna Jr.
Yep,
I
Ronald
don't follow
Acuna Jr.
baseball at all, so sorry if I ruin people's names. I just kind of caught half of his name on his jersey. Yeah, Acuna Jr. There it is. He gets hit by a ball, and these are the following comments from the Pittsburgh Pirates broadcast team. Oh. I forgot to mention, he's wearing, it looks like 2, maybe 3 gold necklaces. And go.
On the elbow. You know, I was getting ready to say, with a young player just doing all that stuff and all the jewelry and all the stuff, back in the day, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but... or that was done on purpose. Hard to believe it was done on purpose. No, I'm not suggesting that. That's why I qualified it back in the day. Yeah.
Sorry, but when you start talking about a player and then you throw in the term back in the day, nobody cares. Sorry, old head. We just don't anymore. It's getting old.
Well, these young players wearing all that jewelry and stuff.
Stuff.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. Oh, wait. And then you realize he kind of knew where he was going, and, he stopped himself. I feel like he would have kept on going, but he's messed up in the past to where he's finally been like, oh, shoot, here I go again. I better stop myself or else I'm going to get a talking to.
You know what?
Because that's when he's like, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. No, you're saying it's wrong. Don't lie. You are definitely saying it's wrong, and you caught yourself going down some old man rant based off of nothing except for what he wears jewelry. Now I could see if maybe the jewelry caused him to miss a play because it flew up into his eyes, and you saying something to the sort of maybe if you took all that jewelry off, you would have been able to catch that ball. But that's the jewelry had nothing to do with the play at hand.
Yeah. I don't know. I can only talk about this whole baseball situation for a little while because it just gets my blood boiling. These guys.
Oh, I know Scotty Kaiser. Scotty Kaiser over there. They love to get Scotty Kaiser all boiled up over there on Craft Brewed Sports with this old head baseball talk. They call it old white man baseball talk. We can call that what it is.
Kind of. It's right. It's true.
But I mean, that's just basic. Just all old guy talk. Back in my day, we used to play baseball in the snow, uphill both ways.
It's true. Yeah, that was definitely what the old men did, and they like to brag about it. They're braggarts, these old men, and they talk about it. Back in the day, we weren't allowed to wear all these gold chains and flashy, fancy jewelry. We weren't. Yeah, you know what? It is what it is, I guess, with baseball. And I saw figures that said the past 4 seasons, baseball has seen a reduction in attendance at these games. I think they do need to revisit some of what they're doing. Do they need better announcers on the television? Yeah. Now, here's the problem. Some of the people watching those games are those old men that like to relate
There's still a lot of them.
Those announcers. That's a little bit of a problem. How do you embrace both the tradition and create a new environment that helps bring in new fans? And that's what you need. And the guys that are running the show, like a guy like Rob Manfred, he doesn't have the answers. He won't have the answers because he's not that guy. You need somebody that is able to come up with some new thinking, out-of-the-box thinking, and help improve baseball. And I don't know what the answers are. If I was a genie, if I was Will Smith painted in blue paint, I would be able to grant 3 wishes, and right now I would tell you one wish would be to fix baseball. But I'm not, unfortunately, and so I can't do that for you. I'm also not a magic 8-ball. You can't shake me and ask me for the answers.
I'm gonna try.
You already have. You already have. I'm not a crystal ball. I'm none of these things, Chris America. I don't have the answers for you.
Maybe we looked into the beard. The beard will have the answers.
When the squirrel pops out, you can ask him. He knows all.
A wise old squirrel?
Yes. The germs have penetrated his brain and created a super squirrel. It's like when mutants happen, like on X-Men, when Joker got thrown into a vat of chemicals. That's what happened to the squirrel when it jumped into my beard. It interacted with the germs in a way that we never expected. And now there is a super squirrel living in my beard that can see the future and can predict and knows everything going on in the world. I didn't really want to share it with America this way, but I think it's time that I finally came out. And I consider myself to be the new Avenger. I'm going to take over for Iron Man and Captain America. They're going to call me Squirrel Beard.
Squirrel Beard. I love it.
Yeah, I came up with that on the spot. I think I could come up with a better name.
Well, Loudbeard, just one more thing I want to add to this, and I don't mean to get morbid about it, but this older fan base is and will die out soon, within the next 10, 15 years. And if you've rushed off every other generation but them, once they're all gone, you're going to have nobody left, and that's when baseball is going to die. So I get the whole, we need to walk the balance, but the balance is shifting more towards the younger generation as far as population-wise goes and ratings go. And you got to make your decision soon, and you got to figure it out how to get us back into your sport.
Well, I think one thing that's been helping out baseball, and that just not about the spectators, but on the field, man, they're still hitting home runs at a torrid pace. It is unbelievable. And the Marlins, they last night set a franchise record with 11 runs in one inning. They actually scored a run for every person that was sitting out in the seats. So they said, okay, we got 11 fans tonight. Let's score one for each. And they did it. 11 runs in one inning, setting a franchise record. That's how you get people back into the stadiums, is you make it fun. You add more scoring. I don't know how you add more scoring, but chicks dig the long ball. That's all I got to say. And last night, Marlins tearing it up out there. Good to see some good Marlins out there.
Well, one way you can add scoring, even though I totally disagree with it because I hate making rules to where you help out offense, but I know that one way to help out scoring, and it's been a popular take, is just make the shift illegal.
You think that's going to make a big difference?
I think it'll make a huge difference because the shift does suck away a lot of hits from batters. Now, granted, I'm still the guy that says, hey, man, just hit it the opposite field. But apparently, baseball players can't figure it out, and I'm not going to judge them because I can't make contact with the baseball. If I make contact with a baseball swinging a bat, I get excited just because I made contact. Even if it just grounds out to the pitcher, I'm just like, hey, I still hit it. I made contact. But, yeah, I think that takes away a lot. That adds a lot of outs to the game, which kills a lot of scoring runs and things of that sort. So I think it could make a huge difference.
I'm gonna have to say I'm against it. I'm against your
managers
new rule.
do it for a reason, right?
Yeah, it's strategery. I like strategery. In sports,
well, I do
man.
too. But what do you think people like more, scoring or strategery?
I like strategery. I'm gonna have to go against you on that one, Chris America, but that's okay because I really don't care that much where I'm gonna fight with you about it on air. Other baseball talk. We only got a couple minutes before the commercial break. Miguel Cabrera moving to the DH full time. His knee issues are really just preventing him to be an adequate field player. He's been playing first base, but with his knee problems, it's just not going to work. So Miggy moving over to DH full time.
And see, Scotty Kaiser, I know he's listening.
Mm-hmm.
That is why the DH position is so important. So we can still enjoy players like Miguel Cabrera. I don't know how his hitting is doing. Hopefully he's hitting well, but clearly he's hitting well enough to where they can move him to the DH, or maybe he's just getting paid to where they're like, well, we got to pay the guy, so we might as well see if he can hack some home runs in for us.
That's a good
That's
one.
why I love the DH, man.
Oh, there's the DH conversation. I
I'm
like
trying
the
to start
DH.
baseball arguments, man.
I like the DH. I do. I could go against it, though. I could go both ways, but I'm not going to. Another player, a former Pirate, he was part of the having these old guys broadcast to him for many, many years, and that was Andrew McCutchen. He's now on the Phillies, but former MVP goes down with an ACL tear, will be out the rest of the season. So big loss for the Phillies, though he was more of a, off-season move that they thought was going to bring out a lot of extra scoring. And, Andrew McCutchen's kind of on that tail end of his career. You're not getting that same MVP performer like you had seen when he was on the Pirates. So big loss for the Phillies, but I'm pretty sure they're going to still be able to overcome this one. So, well, Chris America, I think we spent half of our show talking about baseball. Can you believe
Baseball and Baker Mayfield.
Which one did you enjoy more, talking about Baker or baseball?
Well, I missed half of the baseball talk, so I guess Baker Mayfield.
All right, so that's good. That's good. So I will say, Chris America, we've got a hot segment coming in after the break.
Well, I got a hot segment as well. Well, it's not a segment. I got a hot topic. and it's kind of simmered because it's 2 days old. I kept forgetting to bring it up. I need to start taking notes on my phone when I hear stuff on sports radio while I'm at work. But my hands are usually full at work to where I can't do that. But I'll lead us into the break. You mentioned how, is it Manfred is a bad commissioner? Well, I think Roger Goodell is one of the worst as well. But he said something the other day that made me actually like him.
Hey, Kawhi, what are you laughing at, man? This isn't funny. Fantasy sports reimagined. FanDuel, that's what I'm talking about. It is more than just fantasy sports. It's the best way to watch the games, win real cash, and bring the action right to your living room. Just choose a contest, make your picks, watch, and win. And if you go to FanDuel.com/STR today, you can get a $5 deposit bonus. Once again, that's FanDuel.com/STR. Come on, man. This is not a laughing matter. If you've been listening to Scout Team Radio for a long time, you know that myself, Loudbeard, has placed a bet or two in his day. That's right, I've lost the beard bet, I lost the romper bet, but one place I don't like losing is when I bet money, and I can easily do that at MyBookie. That's right, you can go to mybookie.ag, use promo code 12OZSports, and get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Hey, guess what? That is a lot of money. Do it.
When I'm working hard, I build up a thirst for sports. That's when I grab a cold 12-ounce sports radio. "12-ounce sports radio. Quench your sports thirst."
Hey everybody, it's your favorite Patriot, Chris America, and I want you to listen every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and on replays from 11 a.m. to noon of Scout Team Sports. Listen, George Washington did not cross over the ocean blue in 1492 to defeat the Nazis, so you can listen to the same tired national clickbait sports stories. So once again, tune in to us every single morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and then we replay from 11 to noon. I will see you there, and God bless America.
Thank you all for listening in. Once again, you're listening to Scout Team Radio. We bring it to you hot and live Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. right here on 12-Ounce Sports Radio. We're also simulcasting on the Full Press Radio Network. We're excited about that partnership. And we are on the Barn Burner Podcast Network. We're a part of all of those great networks. You can also catch our podcast daily right after our show. We drop our podcast. You can search it up, Scout Team Radio, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, anywhere you find a podcast. And if you want to get social, hit us up on the Twitter machine. That's right, hit us up at Scout Team Radio. We will live tweet. We will talk about it. We will discuss your topics on air. Hit us up at Scout Team Radio. Even if it's not live, if you're listening back to the podcast, you can hit us up at Scout Team Radio. We would love to be able to discuss your topics on air. Make sure you do all of those things. Now, there was a beautiful tease right before the commercial break. Chris America, you were out there, you were talking about Roger Goodell, and I agree, he is the worst commissioner ever, but you said he may have said something that may change my mind. So, as the classic meme goes, I'm going to be sitting there in a park at a table. I'm going to have a little poster board in front of it that says, Roger Goodell is a terrible commissioner. Change my mind.
Well, I don't know if this will completely change your mind, because it didn't change mine, because I agree with you. He is the worst. I just hate him. I hate that he gets credit for the NFL blowing up. I think he's just part of that NFL fantasy football success that took off, 15, 20 years ago, however long it was. But he finally said something that made a lot of sense. And he's talking about making the preseason shorter, and that I am a huge fan of. He doesn't want 4 preseason games. He wants 2. NFL coaches agree with this. They don't need all 4 games. And the best thing that he says the NFL should be doing everything to the highest quality, and I'm not sure preseason games meet that level right now. And I could not agree more. Even when I'm hungry and starving for NFL football, I still don't watch the preseason games like I do the regular season. I'll dabble in it, but I'm not like glued to the TV like I am on Sundays.
Yeah, but isn't this a Captain Obvious type of statement? If I'm Roger Goodell and I'm the commissioner of the NFL, you think I'm just now realizing that preseason's garbage? I mean, he's going, it's not the quality that we really want. Well, no crap. Nobody's going to these games, and viewership, I'm sure, is really low. People are just wanting to watch them because it's like, well, I haven't had football in forever. I might as well watch something. But the quality of the product that's put out on the field is terrible. It's always been terrible. It's always going to be terrible. And you just now are getting behind this train. I'm going to call Roger Goodell out on his BS. They are approaching the new CBA, I believe 2021 or 2020 is when this whole negotiation's going down. And it's going to get ugly. I think the players are starting to prepare themselves for a very tumultuous negotiation when it comes with this, because the players are wanting more. They want more out of their collective bargaining agreement. And the NFL is so arrogant, they aren't willing to give up a whole lot. I've also seen where Roger Goodell has talked about expanding to 18 games. You know why he wants to take the preseason and chop off 2 games? Is because he wants to expand the regular season, and he thinks that saying that he takes off the preseason games will be enough for the NFLPA to say, okay, we agree to it. Well, you know what? I think he's selfish, and I don't think he is altruistic with what he is saying. I think he's just a total DB. That's all I'm saying.
I think you changed my mind.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with that. I went from like, hey, that's something that's good about Roger Goodell, and I think you're right. Now, here's the sticky situation that the NFLPA finds themselves in, and why I feel like they can never get the full power that they should have in the NFL, and that's because they have to walk this fine line between the starters of the NFL and the superstars in the NFL, and then everybody else, all the other players, because you shorten that preseason, and now you're telling a whole lot of your members of the NFLPA that you now get less of a chance to prove that you can be on a football team. And so how do you get those two sides, the sides of the starters and the superstar players and the rest of your NFLPA membership, which is a larger voting base, to say, yes, we're going to give you less opportunities to prove that you can make it on an NFL football roster? How do you walk that line?
You know how you do that? You say, all right, well, the NFL's negotiating with us. We're going to get higher salaries for everybody in the NFL. By doing so, what we're having to do is expand the regular season, decrease the preseason. So now everybody gets higher salaries. So if you
But I can't make a salary if I'm not on a team.
Well, at that point, it's very challenging, right? But you say to this player, if you can make a team, you're going to make more money. If you can make a team. So if that player, and these players all think they can make a team, right? Whether it's in with 2 additional preseason games or not, these players that are on that cusp, they all think they can make a team. And if they don't, when injuries start happening, they think they're going to squeeze in at some point. So talk with their wallets, right? Talk about money and how are you going to make them more money. That's how you get everybody on board, is saying, so even if you don't make it in the preseason and you end up getting on a roster or get on a practice squad, we're going to make you more money. And all of a sudden, everybody's going to say, all right, let's do it. It's all about the money. It's about the pockets.
Now, but here's the other part about it, where you still have to walk that fine line, and Memphis Spence brings it up. Scout team, what's the over-under on a football strike during the CBA negotiation? 8 games. And this is where the NFLPA would love to use a strike to help, punish the owners. But the owners know, and the NFLPA knows, there's still a lot of guys that can't afford an NFL strike. Now that sounds silly because the league minimum $500,000 a year, but these guys live at a budget of $500,000 a year. So when you take away that paycheck, they can't afford that house that they bought or the car or whatever else they bought. And I'm not saying they went out and splurged on a whole bunch of luxury things they can't afford. They just bought things that you can afford on a $500,000 salary. And they should buy things that they can afford on a $500,000 salary. That's what you're supposed to do in life. But they don't have the saving power that a Ben Roethlisberger, a Peyton Manning, a Tom Brady, they don't have that kind of saving power to save up money and buy stocks and businesses and stuff to keep money flowing where they can afford to go on a strike.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And NFLPA Executive Director DeMaurice Smith, he's actually now voicing his opinion to these players. Like, start preparing. Put away money now. Start preparing now so that you can be ready, because if you want me to fight for you, if you want me to fight for safety, if you want me to fight for money, if you want me to fight for added luxuries for you as a player, you got to be prepared to engage in battle, and part of that is missing out on a few paychecks. And Memphis Spence is saying over under 8 games. I would put the over under at 1 game. I think to have one missed regular season game is bad for both sides. So the CBA is going to have pressure to get it done. The NFL and the NFLPA are going to have pressure to get the CBA wrapped up before that first game. Now, if they miss 1 game, they'd be willing to probably miss 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever it takes to get what they want. And I think this is just going to be a really contentious CBA agreement. This is not going to be pretty. I felt last time the players, they were a little bit like, okay, we're going to go ahead and give you a few things as long as you give us the rookie scale, because people like Sam Bradford made way too much money coming out of college, guaranteed contracts, and other players weren't. And they got the rookie scale. They got a few things they wanted, and the players were like, okay, cool. Now they're like, wait a second. All of the things that we didn't get last time and all the things we want now, we want it all. And, of course, the NFL is arrogant, and they have a huge ego, and I don't think they're going to want to give all of that back to the players. So this is going to be contentious, but I would put the over-under at 1 game, and I can see it. I can see it holding. I can see us missing some NFL football when this comes around.
And you know what sucks for the players is they're the ones that take the brunt of the criticism from the public. It's never the owner's fault. It's always the players' fault. The players are greedy. The players are this. The players are that. And I never understand that, because the owners are acting out of greed and spite as well. And I think both sides are to blame. I don't see why we can't say, like, look, this is a golden goose. Let's figure out a way that we can both win in this aspect. And I feel like the NFL owners have constantly shown time and time again that they just want all of it for themselves and pass out none of it. And they go about all the wrong excuses of saying, "Oh, we gotta pay for this and we gotta pay for that." Like, no, nobody's fooled here. You're making hands over fist in money. Give it to these players who are putting their lives on the line, their mental health on the line, for you to make your billions of dollars. Just throw the dog a bone.
Yeah, but
I wish the NFL owners and the NFL players had a relationship like the NBA owners and the NBA players do.
Well, the NBA is a different beast. We talked about it with baseball, and now with football. There's a great commissioner in the NBA, and the NBA does it the right way. In the NFL, it's the opposite. They don't do it the right way. And for fans, you know who you watch each week? It's the players. Those are the people that you see. So if you don't see players on the field, it's easy just to mentally think, okay, it's the player's fault. Those are the guys I want to see out on the field. Why can't they agree? And as a casual fan, it's easy to fall into that trap where you say, all right, well, these guys are playing one of the best sports in the world, and they're getting paid lots and lots and lots of money to go out and play a fun sport. How can they not agree on, we're talking about millions and millions of dollars. How can they not be happy with making millions and millions of dollars? So it's hard as a casual fan to really wrap your head around that when the casual fan is making a lot less than any singular player out on that NFL football field.
I agree. So let's go to your hot segment.
Are you ready for this, Chris America?
I'm ready.
So we talked about it yesterday. So it took a little bit of research. I had to pull this together, but I feel like that ESPN spelling bee came on, and I wanted to take a little bit of that momentum from ESPN and make it our own Scout Team Radio spelling bee. So instead of going to the Merriam-Webster dictionary or whatever other dictionaries out there, I decided to go to the tried and true Urban Dictionary to come up with some terms for you. And I did have to scroll through quite a few words just to make sure I found some that were appropriate for radio. So it was a little bit of a challenge, Chris America. But I'm going to ask you, I want you to be the spelling bee champion today on Scout Team Radio. So I'm going to ask you a few words. You can ask me to use them in a sentence. You can ask me for the definition, and we will go from there. So I'm going to start you out with an easy one. Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to start you off with an easy one. The first word that you need to spell is holla.
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 Can you use it in a sentence?
Yes. Watch out, I'm about to holla at this fine bee.
Is that the same holla as the old man on the Chappelle show that used to say holla, 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 holla?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in a definition here for you, just to help you out a little bit.
Yes.
For a man to express interest in a particularly fine female specimen. Holla.
All right, holla. H-O-L-L-A.
Wow, there we go. Woo!
That
I don't
second
have
L
the
is
applause
important
queued up.
because if you don't get the second L, then it's just Ola.
Yes, which is also in the Urban Dictionary. It means very, very differing things, but it's pretty close. But holla at your boy. There you go, Chris America.
Holla at
You
your
got
boy.
the first one right. Let me go ahead and give you the old. There you go. You got the cha-ching. You're doing good. All right. So second word, sandwich.
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 Sandwich. Can I have the definition of a sandwich, please?
All right. So this is not just a sandwich. This term is reserved for the holiest and mightiest of all sandwiches. Sandwich.
S-A-M-I-C-H. Oh, no? Is there two M's?
There's two M's in sandwich.
Oh.
Sandwich.
Double M's.
And if we were to use it in a sentence, just so people are understanding of what this word is, sandwiches are good. Sandwiches are a good snack, but a sandwich is forever.
I like that.
These are all directly from the Urban Dictionary. I'm not making it up. All right, so the next one, I'm going to get a little trickier on you, Chris America. Chirpsin. Your next word from the Urban Dictionary is chirpsin.
Chirpsin. Yes, use that in a sentence, please. I've never heard of this phrase.
All right, so the definition is to flirt with someone, and if I were to use it in a sentence, it would be, some girl was chirpsing me on the train. Chirpsin.
You could have said, like, my Twitter DMs or, I don't know.
I actually pulled these sentences directly from Urban Dictionary. I didn't make them up.
On the train.
Some girl was chirpsing me on the train. That was
all right.
sentence.
Chirpsin. I'm just gonna take a guess. C-H-I-R-P-S-E-N.
Oh, so close, Chris America. It's
Is it
S-I-N.
I-N.
Chirpsin.
Those N's
Chirpsin.
at the end of words, they get you every time.
I know. That one was a tough one. All
Because
right.
it could have been O, it could have been I, it could have been E.
I've got two more words for you, Chris America.
Okay.
I think these ones are going to be much easier for you. I think we're ready for it. Let's say the next one is going to be cop that. Your next word, cop that. Cop that.
Cop that. All right. Definitely going to need that one used in a sentence in the definition, please.
All right. So definition, to get something or possess something. Cop that.
Okay. All right.
And
No,
in
I think
a
I've heard that now.
sentence, I'm going to go cop that outfit when I get my welfare check. I'm going to go cop that outfit when I get my welfare check. Cop that.
Okay, can I get a addiction check? Is it cop that or cop dat?
Cop that.
Okay. C-O-P-T-H-A-T?
Yes, there you go.
Yes.
You get a triple
Yes.
on that one. All right, last word for you, Chris America, this morning on our Urban Dictionary Spelling Bee Championship. Last word for you, shrimp.
Shrimp or shrimp?
Shrimp.
Shrimp. Okay, please use it in a sentence.
All right, so, dude, she's a shrimp.
And the definition, please.
A person that is hot from the neck down. Shrimp.
That makes no sense. I'm sitting here trying to figure out how that, where they correlated the word shrimp with that definition.
There was a little bit more explanation on the Urban Dictionary. It says, shrimp are really good looking except for the head. The head is disgusting. So
I think shrimp are just ugly all around. I mean, they look good when you cook them, and they're nice and pink. So I guess, without the head and you cook them. So it's just like saying, without this chick's head.
It looks delicious without the head.
Without this chick's head, and if I cook her, she would look hot.
You rip off the head and you just want to eat up everything else. Looks so good, like a shrimp. But
All
you
right.
look at that head, you got the weird bug eyes looking at you. And
Right,
stuff.
right.
You
No,
get
you're
grossed
right.
out a little bit, but you tear that head off, the rest of it's just delicious.
I'm just going to stick to old school Butterface.
Yeah.
But
That's
anyway,
like old
shrimp-
old white dude dictionary, not Urban Dictionary.
Shrimp, SHRIMP.
Wow, Chris America, you has successfully won our Urban Dictionary spelling bee.
Yes.
Yes, you had some trouble with Chirpsin and maybe a little challenge with Sandwich, but you overall won this spelling bee. So thank you, Chris America, for playing along. I appreciate it. And next time, I think I'm going to get some theme music, maybe a little fun going for it. But I appreciate you helping out because we had an 8-way tie on that spelling bee a couple days ago, and today we finally found our true winner, and it is you, Chris America. I have to say thank you for playing along, and this is for you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Well, Albert, I know you saw this post because you commented on it. We talk about these guys all the time because they gracefully grace us with their presence on our show, being Twitter co-hosts Mike Berlon and Scott Kaiser, the Craft Brewed Sports guys. Again, you can hear them every Thursday night at 8:30 on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. They have a Facebook group, Craft Brewed Sports Group, and it's funny. I would tell fans to get into it, but you have to listen to the show first because it's not just you click like and then you're a part of the group. There's like a questionnaire you have to fill out. I felt like I was trying to join Rick Grimes' group in The Walking Dead. You know how, as season 3 went along, they're like, hey, we got to ask you 3 questions. How many people have you killed? How many walkers have you killed? That kind of thing.
They just let me in. They didn't make me do a questionnaire.
No, I had to do a questionnaire. It was like, how often do you listen to the show? Where did you... I don't know. It was weird. Anyways.
Some people get special treatment. Others don't.
Yeah, I guess so.
Go ahead.
Scott Kaiser actually posted this, the worst possible NFL quarterback, and it's got a whole bunch of pieces of different NFL quarterbacks. You have Kirk Cousins' clutchness. I know you like that one.
Terrible. Ugh.
Cam Newton's post-game attire.
I don't know. He's pretty on point there with his style.
Kyler Murray's height. Eli Manning's arm strength.
Wet noodle.
Aaron Rodgers' decision or Aaron Rodgers' leadership.
Or okay.
RG3's knee. Man, they're really hating on your Redskins quarterbacks.
We've had quite a few.
Lamar Jackson's accuracy. Tom Brady's mobility. Then you have Nathan Peterman's decision making.
Why are we always hating on Nathan Peterman? Oh, that's right. He
know.
throws more interceptions than he throws passes.
And then we have this one, which is the worst one to have because I'm not saying that you shouldn't have as many kids as you want, but I feel like if you're an NFL quarterback, you need sleep. And you're not getting much sleep when you have 30 kids. And that is Phillip Rivers' pullout game.
I think that's inappropriate. There's kids listening right now. There's toddlers. All the toddlers out there listening, I'm sorry for Chris America's inappropriateness.
They don't know what pullout game is. They didn't even know it was
Neither does
inappropriate until
Phillip
you said
Rivers.
something. Lavir, any other aspects of a quarterback you think you could add to that?
I'm gonna add Mike Berlon's tweets on there as another aspect, but in a good way. This is in a good way because he just said when it's millionaires versus billionaires, I'm gonna go with the millionaires every time. And That was on our previous little discussion there. I agree with them. But when the millionaires are quarterbacks that have terrible features, then yes, I'm going with the quarterbacks.
Yes. I would add in Scott Lorenzen's weight to this list.
Okay, that's quality. I'm trying to think. What about Jay Cutler's smoking ability?
Oh, that too.
What about
Smoking
Kyle's
Jay.
ability to punch drywall?
Kyle's ability to punch drywall means we need to punch out of this episode.
Chris America's ability to throw car batteries into the ocean.
Yes, that too. And to remember dates. Months. Years. Well, guys, that's our show. Have a great day. Peace. Peace.